Good morning, everyone. It's certainly a pleasure to be here in person. I'll just get right to it. I've got a lot of slides here this morning. First thing, investment highlights. You know, we are a producer now. It's been a long 12 years to get to this stage, but we're there now and we're ramping up to over 200,000 ounces of gold per year. We've got one of the best of class operations. We expect to generate significant free cash flow, particularly at the current gold price. Significant throughput upside, and I'll talk more about that, and great exploration potential, and I'll talk more about that in a minute as well. So just where we're located, we're in the Yukon. Geographically, roughly the center. Great infrastructure, year-round road access. We have hydroelectric power. There's a full-service airport in the community of Mayo, which is about an hour drive from the mine site. And then, you know, further into the south of Whitehorse into BC or Alaska or ports, the port of Skagway. This will just orient you to the mine site. Top right there is the open pit. The ore comes down to the primary crusher, then to the secondary crusher, overland conveyor across to the leach pad, and then just in the middle left there, you can see the gold recovery plant. And then down at the bottom is the camp. So from side to side, it's about 8 kilometers. So it's a big site. You know, I spent many years in the consulting business in mining and evaluating companies for people. And one of the things I always looked at as a, you know, evaluation of how the operation was performing was their safety record. And we have one of the best safety records. So that should give people some comfort that this is a very well-run mine. As I said, we're ramping up. You can see the numbers here for 2020, quarter over quarter improvements. Then similar in 2021, we're ramping up. And we just put out our July and August numbers so that I could talk about them here at the conference. But certainly in August, we had record production of over 20,000 ounces of gold. So we've turned the corner there. Grade, you know, there's two questions people should always ask new mine operators. One is, how does the grade reconcile? Number two is, how's the recovery reconcile? Now, we sample all the production blast holes. We also have a belt sampler on the material going out to the leach pad. And we reconcile that right back to the original block model. And we're seeing excellent reconciliation. So you can tick the box on grade. In terms of recovery, just to remind you, this is a heap leach operation. We have a particularly long full leach cycle. So it's actually still early days to make any conclusions on recovery, but everything is trending in the right direction. And I'm very confident that at the end of the day, we'll have the recoveries that were in the feasibility study. So now that the operation is bedded down and moving forward as planned, we're looking at ways to tweak it. One of the projects we have internally, we call Project 250K, and that's to increase production to 250,000 ounces by 2023. We'll achieve that by two things. One, we're going to go to 11 months a year of stacking from 9 months of the year, and that'll add about 30,000 ounces per year. We also have a very, the ore body fractures very well when you blast the ore, and we generate a lot of fines. So our plan is to put in a screen plant and screen off those fines and direct transport them to the leach pad, which will give us more capacity through the crushing circuit. We think we can do that for less than $20 million. And you can see there in the center of that photo is what we propose as the new screening plant. The plan is we've done preliminary engineering. We've now started the detailed engineering. We'll get the long lead items, which really is just the screen itself, on order here in the next month. We'll construct it in May, June, July of next year, and then be commissioning it in August. And that adds about another 30,000 ounces per year. Another project we have internally is extending the mine life. The current reserve goes down to about 350 meters. We knew that there was more mineralization at depth, and the original reserve was calculated at a gold price of $1,250. So certainly at today's gold price of $1,800, we knew we'd be able to take the pit deeper, but we hadn't done the drilling. So we did that this spring. We drilled 10 holes down to 850 meters. And we're just working through the update of the reserve and resource there now. And we'll probably make some announcements about that early in 2022. Exploration, it's nice to be cash flowing. It's the first time for Victoria that we've been able to fund exploration out of cash flow. We're not subject to markets. So we've got a big program this year, over $12 million. We're focused primarily on a target called Raven, which is out to the east of Eagle. It's another large granodiorite intrusive with very similar characteristics to the intrusive that hosts Eagle. And in 2019, we made a new discovery out there called Raven. We currently have 3 drills turning there, and we would expect to have a maiden resource on Raven by the end of the year. Another target we're on is Lynx, which is just south of Raven. This was a known exploration target. Previous operators had worked there, but they didn't have the experience we have at Eagle. And, we think they were looking at it the wrong way. So we've reinterpreted all the data, and we've got 1 drill operating there now, and it's looking very good. And then to the west of Eagle is another target. It's called Rex Peso. It's a little different because it's high-grade silver. It was a past producer back in the 1960s. So we've gone back in there this year to have another look. Shareholder Registry. I think you can look through the list there and you'd agree we certainly have a real blue chip shareholder registry. Some of the new groups that have come in the past 6 months are groups like Van Eck. Fidelity has doubled their position. Fourth Sail has been buying in the market. So these are companies that purchase developers when things are going right. Analyst coverage, 4 groups cover us. The most active are PI, BMO, and Cormark, and you can see their 12-month targets there for Victoria. Good companies come with good teams. I should introduce Marty Rendell, our CFO, over in the side there. Marty and I have worked together for more than 30 years, I think, with 3 different companies, and we're kind of sometimes like a husband and wife where one starts a sentence and the other finishes it. But we're a great team, and the rest of the guys, everybody on the management team has been together for more than 10 years, except Dave Rouleau, who joined us about 3 years ago. And he's a very seasoned mine operator and has been a great addition to the team. Last but not least, ESG, very important. I think like a lot of small companies, We do a great job of ESG. What we don't do is a great job of reporting it, but we're improving that, and I think we'll be a leader in terms of ESG going forward. Just some shots of the mining, crushing, stacking, ADR plant. And then I won't go through this slide, but I do have a video I'm going to show. It's always debatable whether you have enough time to show it, but certainly during construction, we would publish a video every 2 or 3 months of the construction process. And generally it had rock and roll music to it. And we got lots of compliments about the videos. With COVID, we were kind of restricted for the past 18 months, but we did get our videographer back up to site here in July. And I think he's done a great job of capturing what the mine looks like in operations. I think you'll agree that does a pretty good job of showing what the mine looks like. And that brings us to the end, and I think we've got a few minutes for questions if there are any.
John, what were the original recoveries in the PEA? And what are they running now? You mentioned that.
Yeah, the feasibility study recovery was 73%. And again, it's a little bit early, but I think we're seeing recoveries closer to 75% currently.
So you're surpassing what was in the feasibility?
It looks like it. It's still early days though, and we need to get more material on the pad and see it over time.
And so the PEA feasibilities were, recoveries were higher?
PEA?
Well, I thought you said
feasibility study. PEA was done 12 years ago, and my memory's not quite that good.
No, because you said that you're confident you'll have recoveries that are in the engineering study by the end of the.
Yeah, we put out a technical report in a couple years ago, and it still had 73% as the recovery. And that was, what was modeled by Kappas Cassidy. And, they do a lot of test work and they come up with what they think is a good number. Then they generally are conservative and back it off a few points. And I think we'll be a little higher than what was in that technical report. Yes.
Hi, John. I've
Hey,
heard
Rick.
some rumblings about a lack of confidence, say 2 to 3 years down the mine plan about performance of people. I don't know where that comes from or why, but I thought I'd ask the question and get your view on kind of your 2 to 3 year mine plan and why in the world something might be successful.
You say there's questions about the mine plan? Oh, I haven't heard that. I think the mine plan is, it's public. That technical report is out there and it's very solid. All right. Back to you.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Good presentation, John.